Good afternoon. My name is Cameron McDaniel, and I am a graduating senior legal communications major, sports administration minor at Howard University. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Lorin Hamlin.
Hi, Kimra. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be able to participate in this.
Thank you so much for being here. So we can just jump right into it. So my first question is, would you provide a brief summary of your current role and primary responsibilities?
Sure. So I've been with Under Armour for 10 years. I was hired in 2011 to open our state-of-the-art innovation lab, which at that point was primarily a rapid prototyping facility. And I'm actually a paralegal by trade. So I came on as sort of the legal liaison between innovation and the rest of the business units. From there, sort of built that into more of a business development role. So my day-to-day now is looking for new technologies, startups across the board, very broad funnel, bring those ideas back to Under Armour to see if there's a fit with one of the traditional business units there. And then I also run our online idea submission portal, which is called Idea House, where anyone, regardless of whether you're a garage inventor or a Fortune 500 company, you can submit your idea there and it's reviewed by our team.
Oh, wow. It's very interesting to hear that you're a paralegal because when I explain my major legal communications, that's kind of how I explain it. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the overlap, but there is significant overlap.
Yes, definitely. My second question is, what key lessons have you learned from working in sports?
So I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you have to be ready to adapt. Just as I come from a publishing background, it was a very big change to come to sports. So you just have to always be ready to ask a lot of questions, be a really good active listener, and don't assume that you know everything or really anything when you're involved, and just reaching out to as many people as you can within the industry, I think, is what's most important.
Yes, I always hear adaptability and networking. Those are the two things that I hear the most. So that is really amazing to hear. And then also, just going into every experience ready to learn, not thinking that you know everything. So
yes.
My following question is, what are 1 to 2 highlights from your sports career?
Let's see, I would say probably one of my biggest highlights is, Under Armour is unique in that we allow people to send their ideas in without having any patent or IP protection. Most of our competitors do not allow that. They do everything in-house, or they'll just option the patent. So we had a young inventor who his uncle has a form of muscular dystrophy and only has the use of one arm. So he wanted to create a one-handed zipper. So we sent the zipper, this big clunky thing, to us, and our 3D engineers played with it and did some modeling and prototyping. Long story short, we optioned his patent, which he retains the patent rights now. It went out on 400,000 units, which is amazing. But the best part, and none of us foresaw this, was that we were having parents sending us letters saying that for the first time ever, their child was able to do their own zipper when they went out at recess. So that, to me, that's the gold standard. Like, that's why I do what I do every day, because it's those things that you don't really think about. And Under Armour's mission is make all athletes better, and it is exactly that. I mean, everyone is an athlete in their own right. So that's probably the biggest what I point to when it works really, really well. That's what it looks like.
Wow, that's so amazing. And it's the smallest things that you don't realize it makes a difference to people. So that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Also, what advice would you offer college students or recent graduates pursuing a career in sports?
So it goes back to that networking piece. You just never really know. I ended up at Under Armour because I struck up a conversation with someone on the sideline of my daughter's lacrosse game, and here I am 10 years old. So you never really know who is in the room. So I would encourage people to obviously have an updated LinkedIn profile, but also consider joining some of the trade organizations within sports, like Sports and Fitness Industry Association, which is based right here in Bethesda. It's our governing body for the sports industry. So that gives you a broad swath of experts that you can tap into. And I would really suggest, I can't underestimate the power of having a mentor. I've had the pleasure of mentoring several people, particularly startups over the years, and then also being on the other side of that. So being willing to learn, and then once you've gotten to a certain point in your career, to be sure that you give that back, so that you just create this hub of this network of people that you can lean on, and they can do the same for you. So that's the primary thing. It's not enough to be top of your class and have a great resume. And, for example, at Under Armour, our rookie program, which is what we could call our intern program, it's 120 spots and we get 10,000 applications for that. So it's actually harder to get into Harvard than it is to get into our rookie program. So you just have to keep being relentless, but also respectful, I think is those two things go hand in hand, or should.
Wow, that that is amazing. And also, I'm really going to look into that program because it sounds amazing. Everything with Under Armour that you have said sounds amazing. That's a lot of applicants for.
It's a lot of applicants. Yeah. Yeah. When I say to people, yeah, it's harder to get into our rookie program than it's Harvard, they're like, really? I'm like, oh no, really, look at the numbers.
Wow. So also my final question is, what is one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you first enter into the sports industry?
I think it is to, particularly for women in the sports industry. When I first started, when I would go to these events, I was one of few women in the room. And I think it's important to realize that we belong there, that we, not only do we belong there, but, as what's thankfully this increased effort with diversity, equity, inclusion, the people are seeing that people are finally starting to see that it's not just the right thing to do. We shouldn't have more people of color or more women or what have you, but it actually does make for a stronger business. It's, it's been proven that business with a diverse group of thoughts and experiences makes your group stronger. So I think from the very beginning, especially when you're young and when you're a woman, it might be daunting to walk into a room, but you have to, believe in yourself and that you have every right to be there and make yourself known. And I think it is easier now than it was then. I wish I'd have known that then. I wish I'd have been like, you get out there, you can do this.
Yes, I always just try to say I'm going to go into every room knowing that I can be just as good, or I am just as good as everyone else there, no matter the age, the gender, anything. So I firmly believe in that. That is all of my questions. Is there anything else that you would like to say, or any advice that you would like to give?
I don't think it's the only one thing that other than the diversity piece, that I really do look at that when I look at startups or the businesses that I am considering, because I think it's an integral part of success. I think also something that gets overlooked are the soft skills. So, sending a thank you email, or, having a good, well, we don't shake hands anymore, but I don't know, a good strong fist bump or something. Just those little things go a long way. And I think sometimes that is overlooked, but it's important because that will stand out when someone does that with me or doesn't follow up with me. I remember that. So just those little things like, hey, thanks for the conversation today, or thank you for reviewing my pitch proposal. Things like that are important.
Yes, always have to follow up and say that you're thankful, and just, take every opportunity as like a learning lesson, and just always be grateful for every opportunity you have, because not everyone is granted with that. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so thank you so much for being here with me today. It was honestly an honor to interview you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Cameron. I'm so honored to be a part of this program, and I hope we can stay in touch.
For sure.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day.